What's the proper etiquette for rubbing one out under the table?
Mitt Romney makes me so mad.
And then they said my IQ was turning into precipitation.
On your lips. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Fuck it. We're doing it. Nah, nah. I already do too much.
That's not even Alex Jones.
I know that's that one guy. O'Neal.
It's fucking
O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly. Oh, it was Shaquille O'Neal. He said it during the finals. They called a timeout, and he walked over to Phil Jackson. He's like, "We're doing it live!" And then he just gave the ball to Kobe.
Fuck!
Well, this is Brain Void again. Welcome in. Last week we had Justin. Not last week. Last time we did this, we had Justin. He was pretty cool, huh? We'll probably have him on again. I would imagine. I'd want to have him on again. I think that conversation was good. So this one is going to be fun. But
Jesus.
This one is going to be extremely different. Okay, so Eric doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground because he just had to put his entire setup back together because his podcast room dedicated to podcasting was not ready for podcasting, which is interesting. So I have a story. I want to tell you this story before I forget this story. Before I forget to tell it. It's very important. It's important because we all played Red Dead. Right? We all played, so we know we're familiar with all the characters and all the stuff, which is why it's relevant to this. So I was scrolling Instagram mindlessly last night, trying to ignore the fact that I had things to do, because that's kind of what you do. So I came across this page, and it's this page where it's like this British guy, and he keeps telling you, like, all of his reels are like, here's how you do things proper etiquette style. Right? Like, here's how you eat a salad with good etiquette and all, and like with good manners and shit, right? So I'm looking at that, and there used to always be this guy in his comment section that would be like, "What's the proper etiquette for rubbing one out under the table?" like, like that's what he would post constantly. Like every single reel, this guy would post this. And I don't know if he got blocked or if he just gave up or what the deal was, but he wasn't in this comment section. But you know who was in the comment section who took up the mantle of asking what the proper etiquette to rub one out under the table is? Do you want to know? It was the voice actor. It was the fucking voice actor who does Arthur Morgan.
perfect.
Absolutely goated. So, of course, I read this comment in Arthur Morgan's voice, like, well, what's the proper etiquette for rubbing one out under the table? Like, fucking incredible. That man, he deserves everything good that he ever gets in life. He's earned every ounce of good fortune that he ever receives. Absolute fucking goat. So yeah, I wanted to fire it off by sharing that little piece of information there because I thought that was I laughed way too much. My wife didn't think it was very funny at all. I just think it's really funny. Like, imagine Arthur, like actual Arthur, in in like 1899 or whatever this is, going up to like a British guy, and they're like, "All right, Arthur, like like one of the missions, like you got to go into a fancy party, right? Like it's even in the game, you got to go to a fancy party." It's like, imagine Arthur walks up to this fucking guy and goes like, "Hey, what's the proper etiquette if I need to rub one out under the table?"
I get fancy eating salad but
what if I really I've been edging all day, Dutch. I don't really know if I can keep it in anymore.
Dutch, get in here, boy. So
that
can I ask
my night?
I might have missed it, but he asked the question how to rub one out?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Was he
his
hacked?
name's No, dude. His fucking Instagram page is fantastic. He's like, he was in there responding to people in the thread, like in the comment thread. Like he was in there, talking back and forth, yeah, he just does silly shit. He's just a little bit of a silly goose.
Wow. Well, I had much admiration for that character, let alone the voice actor. So that's good. At least he's being funny.
Dude, yeah, Arthur is one of the best written characters in a video game, like of all time, in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. I wish I was Arthur Morgan, including the being dead part from tuberculosis.
From tuberculosis, yeah.
If I'm dead, I don't have to pay bills anymore, and I think that's pretty fucking cool.
That is cool. Yeah. You know, when you died, if you do have a lot of debt, does that get passed on to your family?
No,
I thought
they
some
didn't
of it
sign it.
did.
They didn't sign any contracts. If you're married, it might, but not like your fucking siblings won't have to take on debt and shit.
Because
No, but I think if you're married, I think some stuff
I
does.
remember hearing this. Maybe it's a myth, but like the violin player, one of the violin players on the Titanic, he rented a suit for that for that event, and the suit people charged the estate of his name, whoever was in charge, for the rental. Like
That
we're not
fucking
getting it back.
rocks.
Okay. Well,
Um,
they charge the estate. I guess that's not the same as going after their family.
Well, no, but it's the stuff your family's supposed to like be able to split up.
Yeah, like it's
You
Right.
know,
like
Right.
it's his.
But so I was under the impression with the question you asked was if they had like nothing but
Oh,
debt, does that debt get transferred? And no, I think it gets
I
taken
think.
off the top of whatever like life insurance and shit you have.
But what if that doesn't cover it? Like, what if I'm in debt for like $250,000 because I went to college for one semester in America, and and then I died of a horrible death. Say something like not being able to get health care in the United States of America. Let's say I died from that. Um, and then let's say my life insurance is non-existent because as a sick person in America, you can't get health insurance, or I mean, life insurance, which is a true story. Uh, yeah, I mean,
Well,
and
so
I
I'm,
and I
I'm gonna
wasn't married because my wife would take it, but like she would have to take it on, I think. But like if I wasn't married, if this was like real life and I wasn't married, because I don't know how I am, it doesn't make any sense
so the
to
funny
me.
thing about student loan debt is that it actually follows you to hell. Like that is one of
Oh,
the tortures. You have to
like
continue
so,
paying on it. You
you
can't
have
get
to
out of it
find a
by
job.
dying. Yeah.
But like in hell, it's just like applying for a bunch of jobs, but like you just keep getting turned down and like ghosted and all this shit.
Yep.
Like everyone just acts like they're hiring, but they're not really hiring.
Yep.
There's
Are
like a
we in hell?
Wendy's in
Are we in
hell.
hell, guys?
yeah, we're in hell.
Or- Is this the bad place? You guys ever watch that show, The Good Place? It's good.
No, no. Is that
It's
what
got
the one
Kristen Bell in it.
and Ted Danson?
Yes, I think. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
no,
that
The
one.
guy.
It, yeah, the guy, he's old. Yeah,
yep.
it's a good show. It's a good show actually. I do recommend it if you're ever looking for something.
A good
I-
show about a good place. Thank you, Zach. And now sports. Um,
Now over to Rick with the weather.
fucking
It gonna
raining.
rain.
It's raining sideways.
Oh man,
Oh,
speaking of
sorry.
healthcare.
There's no Rick this week. Fill my
Spe-
mouth with farts.
oh man. All right. So, ladies
Uh,
and gentlemen, you may or may not have just heard me cough right there, but that's actually a segue to our next thing about similarly related to healthcare. But
segues are getting lazy.
my
He's trying bodily functions as segue.
Commercial break.
all right. No, but my hands turned blue, and no, bear with me. This is a real story, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle up. So I was at work. It was a Wednesday, and my coworker turns to me and she says, "Hey, man, like your hands look pretty like gray." what's going on? And I'm like, oh, I don't think they look gray. I mean, it's winter and I'm in Minnesota. I think it's just part of being here. She goes, no, man, they're like gray. They're like blue almost. And then the other coworker goes, yeah, they're pretty blue. And I go, all right, well, fuck you, I guess. I don't comment on your guys' hands. So obviously where I work, we have a site nurse, right? Where they have a nurse on site. And I was recommended to go visit her because,
Is she like a school nurse where they just make you lay down on like a shitty cot for a while? Like no
no,
matter what your ailment is?
no, this one is actually educated. So,
But that's all she's allowed to do.
yeah. She's qualified, but they cripple her. But anyway, so I get there and right away they put an oxygen meter on me, and they say, oh, okay, well, while you're talking, it dips down below ideal, and that might be a result of because I've had this cough for a couple of weeks now. She goes, so your oxygen and your blood isn't traveling to your extremities like your hands, so that's why they're turning blue. So she goes, you probably shouldn't sit on this for a while. You should go to urgent care, go see a doctor or whatever. I'm like, all right. So I go see this urgent care doctor, and she does the same things. Like they listen to my lungs. Oh, you sound fine. They look at my ears, nose, and throat. Oh, you're fine. So you got like disease in your family that makes your hands blue? And I go, no, I don't actually. But then they answered the question as if I said yes. Because they weren't taking like no for an answer. They're like, oh, okay, so this is what this is. And I go, all right, but like, should I be concerned? She goes, I wouldn't be concerned. I mean, obviously, if they get bluer, if they get more blue, come in. I'm like, what's more blue? Because that's subjective. I think they're a lot of blue right now. I think they're more blue than I'd like them to be. I think I've never seen my hands this much blue before.
What's an acceptable level of blue? Because in my opinion, 0 blue is the only acceptable level of blue. I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be white.
I'm not looking to join the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, really. I can't play a drum.
They blew me. You guys ever watch Arrested Development? That's right up Eric's alley, Arrested Development.
I've watched some of it, yeah.
It's good.
When I found out it was getting canceled and wasn't doing so well, I kind of was like, I'm not going to watch that. Nobody else is.
No. Watch the 3 seasons. Do not watch season 4. Don't waste your fucking time with the 4th season. Watch the first 3.
I'd watch for Will Arnett. That's who I'd watch for.
Yeah, he rocks. He's good shit.
He's also, yeah. But so they say, don't worry about it. Your hands are fine. If they get more blue, come back in. We'll tell you the same thing, but more blue. So I set up a primary. I just wanted to talk about it because I figured it's not normal to have your hands turn blue, and I wanted to share that story. So if you're out there and you were turned away and your hands are blue, just know that I was too. And that's not alone. And that's not a hymen. I mean a haiku.
What? I think you need to go back to the doctor and just say, not only are my hands more blue, my IQ has precipitously dropped.
I was
too many syllables.
They said my hands were per. Yeah, I couldn't even get that
out. Next, Eric will write, tell us about his published book of hymens.
And then they said my IQ was turning into precipitation.
It's raining brain points.
Anyway, so all right, looks like we have.
I will say how just fucking unimpressive it's been with the urgent care here, like with you, Eric, and with our shit going on. Like you go in and they're just like, I don't know, you're not dying, so get out, And Eric, you went at the worst fucking time where it was like shift change and nobody, like it was fuck off Friday, and yeah, it's shit. Like they don't fucking care unless your arm's off.
So I just want to pause real quick. Zach, do you have to take a piss?
No, you made me laugh really fucking hard, and I almost pissed myself.
Sorry, I was just reading
saying that your hands are fucking blue. You can seriously almost piss my pants. So, yeah.
Well, good. All right. But no, to Rick's point though, I hate the idea, and I don't know if I have this because I've and I think I've talked about this before. I can't remember when, but like when you kind of feel bad for like using a service, you know, whether it's like you go to Subway and you're like, I'm sorry, I wanted a turkey sandwich. Can you just make this for me, please? I have it all at home, but your bread tastes better for some reason. So do you ever like kind of feel bad going into these situations and then like to like actually need service like from a doctor and you're like, hey, my fucking hands are blue, and they're like, dude,
You sure they're not always like that?
you're fucking fine. Your family, they're fat, right? Probably why. So go home. And I'm just like, oh my God, how many people come in here with like this crippling anxiety and they're like, I know something's wrong with me, but I don't want to be told no, so I'm just not going to go in. And then when they finally find the, you know, brass to get inside the doctor's office or whatever, and then they get told, nah, you're probably fine. Like, what do you do with that as a person with like that's just anxious about everything?
So, I mean, I'm in the medical care system quite a bit, being that I'm a sickly individual. Um, and yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of them don't really care because they're overworked and usually underpaid and like whatever. Like I've straight up had doctors like stare at like numbers from my blood tests, and I'd be like, "Hey, this one's way out of range. That's not good, right?" And they're like, "Ah, eat more nuts. Nuts have nutrients." Like, what the fuck, motherfucker? I like, what the fuck? I was like falling asleep within like 3 hours of waking up from sleeping for 12 hours, and you're gonna tell me eat more fucking nuts? The fuck? Come on, man. I needed medication, like science going into my body.
Right.
But also, I kind of understand the thing. Uh, like how do I want to put this? The more I need a service or something, the less I want to use it. Like the graphs cross, right? So like I'll use the example of an oil change, which I need really bad right now. So as I creep up to that, my oil change interval is like 6,500 miles on my car. So as I get close to that 6,500 miles, I'm like raring to go and get this fucking oil change, right? But if I get busy and I cross that mark by 1 mile, suddenly it's just a like exponential drop in my desire to go and get my oil changed or to do it. Like whichever it's going to be. I usually get my oil changed in my car because then they get rid of the oil for me cuz like you can't dump it in your backyard anymore. Uh stop doing that.
Rick.
But like it's
Eric.
people like that. It's the reason that people like that's why it's 65 fucking degrees in February in Minnesota. Like thank you Exxon Mobil and people that dump their oil in their fucking backyard.
Yeah.
But
Or
like
if you have other people show up and dump oil in your yard, that's even worse.
man, yeah, I'm just gonna go start dumping oil. Like we're just gonna pick a yard and that's gonna be the dumping yard. But like I don't know, man, like I won't even like if I have long fingernails but don't own a fingernail clipper to like fix them, I get weird about going to buy one. Like I'm gonna freak out that they're gonna look at me and be like, "Yeah, you really pushed it this time, didn't you? But those some bitches, you got some fucking claws, homeboy." Or
How'd you
like,
make it
God
this
forbid,
long?
yeah, like what the fuck?
How do
Like
you
if I need
wipe?
deodorant, right? Yeah, dude, like deodorant, like body wash, like that one's bad because I'm just gonna like for some reason I'm like they're just gonna know. They're gonna know that it's been like 3 days since I used my own body wash because I've been using my wife's bar of fucking soap. They smell like goddamn lilac and honey or whatever the fuck's going on. You know, I don't smell like my usual fucking sports mountain or whatever. Like, why do
We all
guys
know
have
how
to smell
much
like fucking goddamn bullshit?
we all know how much the cashiers like to take good whiffs of you before they sell you shit.
Oh, I can see them. They're just getting in there sniffing, dude. I can
Do you ever
see it.
when you run
I'm
out of your
on to you.
when you run out of your deodorant, do you guys ever use your significant others?
I
I
don't
never
run out.
have. I spray. I just use cologne, and honestly, like I usually don't smell that good to begin with, probably. So probably fine. I mean, like I shower and take care of myself, but like I'm either sweaty from work or sweaty from the gym most of the time. So I'm like, I don't know. I just assume that my base level is like musk.
Just a layer. Oh man.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
I have like when I get to my last one in the house, I just write on the list, hey, I'm gonna get more deodorant, and then I do that. But I also have like strategically placed like throughout my daily schedule. Like one in my work locker, one in the gym bag when I was going to an actual gym instead of here, and like just so I have backups to my backups. So I just haven't run out since I was like fucking 16.
Yeah.
Not all of us have deodorant autism, Nick.
I'm a little acoustic.
I have one in my
Grandpa's guitars.
I have one in my my office too, and if I'm like out, I'll go like the whole week until Saturday. Like if I run out on a Monday, I'm not going to the store to pick up some. I'll just use I'll raw dog it until I get to the office and swipe some of that on, or I'll use Kaylee's. So shout out.
Well, you can smell like a real thing. You can smell like an actual thing. Women get to smell like real things, and we have to smell like fucking bullets and freedom or whatever the fuck. Like what? Like, have you ever read? Like, do you guys use Old Spice stuff? Like Old Spice brand anything?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I use the Swagger stuff. What the fuck? That's not a real smell. Like, Swagger doesn't have a scent. And then there's one where it's like fucking Dragon Balls and fucking bear dicks or whatever, and it's got like a bear fucking humping a dragon on the goddamn thing. Like, what is that, dude? Like, seriously, man. Like, what is this like weird abstract concept that like dudes have to like? Can we not just smell it? Like, is it such like a male? Like, is this toxic masculinity like at work where we can't smell like things that smell good? Like, we
Well,
have to smell like fucking concepts.
it's so to me, I'd chalk that up to this in the same category as fucking breweries and their beer. You know what I mean? So like you have the names of these things that don't really make sense, and then you go to a brewery and it's like, yeah, I'll wear my bear dick deodorant and go grab an upside down tarantula fuckhead in a microbrew form. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any. What's with the namings these days? You got all these guys with fucking flannels and half grown beards going to the fucking brewery that goes out of business in 10 days, and then there'll be another one up there in another 20 days. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm waiting for the brewery bubble to kind of pop. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I love beer. I love craft brew. Like I brewed beer for a long time. But like, man, there's some of these places that I go to and people like these fucking yeah, these bearded hipster motherfuckers that smell like cedarwood and bourbon piss. Like and they fucking go, they're like, this IPA, this fucking quadruple IPA that definitely doesn't just taste like fucking grass clippings and fucking smell like actual raccoon ass. I'm like, no, like, dude, some of this beer is fucking. I have drank some of those heinous shit. And everyone around me, like, I look around and there's all these people in this tap room, like, oh, this shit is so good. Like, this is really good beer. And I'm like, really? Really? Because it tastes like dirty fucking plumbing, like, and a fucking rag. Like, I drank better stuff out of a fucking actual toilet. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't I can't do it. I want this bubble to pop so all the ones like that can just go away so that I don't have to sit and suffer through one more like fucking rat piss beer. Some dude's fucking fulfilling his rat desires, you know. Just like fucking Jordan Peterson said, man, if you give a man a rat, you fulfill his rat desire.
Hey, we got some
Anyway,
topics we got to jump into. That's what we got to do.
hell yeah.
All
25
right.
minutes in, let's start going down our fucking list.
All right.
Shits McConnell.
All right.
Rick has segued. Rick has forced the segue here into Shits McConnell. So you can kick us off.
So he just announced that he's stepping down in November so he can shit his pants peacefully in retirement.
Well, he's stepping down from leadership. I don't think he's stepping down as a. I think he's going to
Oh, is
serve
that
the
what it
rest of his
was?
term. Yeah. So
On
he's.
my first
I was.
segue and I fuck it up.
I know. I listen. I well. I was. I saw the headline, and then I was actually listening to NPR earlier. Shout out to them. They were not currently having a donor drive somehow, so they weren't telling me every 4 seconds that they need $10,000 to stay alive. But yeah, so he's in November going to step down from like a leadership position, and then he's gonna like serve the rest of his term as just like a regular old senator with no leadership. Now, what does that matter to us? Probably not a whole lot because he's still gonna vote like a fucking asshole, and he's still in there being a piece of shit. Um, they were saying his term ends in like 2027. I think.
Jeez.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, what's the over under on whether or not he makes it? Like, like what are the Vegas odds on him making it to the rest of his term?
Dude, he looks like he's been dead for 2 years already. Like, I don't know how much longer he's got left.
He looks like he's
I,
perpetually stuck in G-force. You guys ever see those videos?
oh yeah, like when they get all fucked up and they age like 50 years, like immediately. I think that's how we should send him out. I think we should stick him in one of those goddamn like rocket launch like trainer things that just swings you around at fucking like 10 G's. And yeah, just like see what a 90-year-old human body can take. Just see what happens.
See how much stretch is left in that fucking hanging jowl he's got.
Dude, he looks like that I don't remember the dog. Do you guys remember there's this old cartoon
Mhm.
with like some dog that was like a cowboy or like a sheriff and he was real droopy. Was his name
Yeah.
fucking Droopy something, some bitch? Yeah, he's like that, man. Like that
He
motherfucker's
kind of
got
sounds
jowls
like
on his
this.
jowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's the fucking guy. Yeah.
Mitt Romney makes me so mad.
Except he's making laws about fucking abortion.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. I got really excited too when I saw the headline because it was again I was mindlessly scrolling Instagram and avoiding all of my responsibilities. And there's this one page I follow that kind of uses the same style of like a photo and the same font and the same design of when they post a picture for their headlines. And these headlines will say, whatever, like this happened, that happened, this person died, that person's elected, blah blah blah. But like for some reason every time I see it, like there's certain moments where I'm like, oh no, someone died. Like it's just the quick heuristic in my brain for some reason, like, oh, someone died. Just based on like how these posts look sometimes. And yeah, I thought Mitch died for a second. And to be honest, like I would have not been surprised at all. I don't think anyone would be surprised if he fucking tipped over like tomorrow. The
Yeah,
dude's old.
I know what you're talking about as far as like when you see like a thing, you're like, oh shit. I think some people, um, when they post on social media, they actually kind of do make it seem like it's in memoriam type thing when they post. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get got by that stuff a lot. And I think
Same.
people have leaned into it too, where they'll be like, oh, like it's always like Samuel L. Jackson, and they'll post a picture that looks like, he died. It'd be like Samuel L. Jackson. And then they'll whatever, like make you click on something. It's, yeah, peacefully woke up and had breakfast. And it's like, fuck you, man. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, that
Yeah.
sucks. Don't do that shit to me. But yeah, no, so don't do that when you're on social media, you fuckers. Don't get me all excited about the fact that maybe Mitch McConnell's finally gone. I just
So
think, like, I think people that are that old just shouldn't even be allowed, man. I don't need people that old. Like, the world's a different place, dude.
yeah, I think that's something that I know that I've talked about on the other podcast too before, but like, or maybe we even talked about it, but like, you have these age limits as far as like a minimum age requirement, right? As far as any job, like a lot of jobs in the country, entry level will have like you need to be 18, you need to be this, you need to be that. President of the United States, you got to be at least 35, right? And you have to be a U.S. citizen. And why would we not lean into the fact that that minimum age is when like those are the prime candidates that we should be looking for? We shouldn't be fucking looking at, okay, you need to be 35 and that law was made in 1965 and then we got to run with that until they're fucking 80 and still running for the goddamn like presidency or Congress or any type of form or whatever the fuck. But you there should be an age limit or like a maximum age, because you could compare it to running a company, right? I know it's not the same thing, but like in a company, CEOs and like high executives will have a clause in their contract saying you cannot be CEO this much after your 65th birthday, because it's just whatever. Like it's just not it's not the best thing for the business. We need to move on. We need to get somebody that's, and then there's amendments that can be made for like extensions. Let's say, if the company's doing really well, if the company's doing poorly, they'll give you like maybe they'll trim that up or whatever. Like they can change it, but they don't really like people going over the typical retirement age in America. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first off, I just realized I could be president now. So I'm 35.
Happy birthday.
Fucking old ass. I can't be president yet.
Old ass, having ass. I don't I don't know if I don't know if an a hard age limit is the answer, but I do think there should be cognitive tests. Like you should have to be able to do certain things, because this is being president is a hard fucking job. Okay, you got a lot of responsibility, a lot of shit that could go wrong, and you need to understand the intricacies and the balances and the precarious situation you can be put in sometimes. If you don't understand that, you could, like, all fucking hell can break loose, and it probably won't happen until after you leave office. So I think that there definitely should be a cognitive test, because some old people can be really sharp, right? Like it's not just you're old, you're automatically unable, but you are more likely to be unable, like statistically. And so I think that should be there should be a standard.
Yeah, I would almost say that, and Zach, you can feel free to jump in too, but I was going to say almost like the NFL Combine, because that's this week, that's happening this week. But like you have all these like draft prospects, and let's just put in, presidential candidate prospects, make them perform different variations of a test, but withhold those like results because, like, I don't know, just speaking for myself, like if I were running for a certain thing and I failed a cognitive test, I wouldn't necessarily want that to be public information, right? But just know that a decision was made with that information, with confidentiality and whatnot tapped over it. So if you do like the NFL Combine, where they take like I think it's called the S2 test now. It used to be the Wonderlic test, but that's a cognitive test for like NFL players, and then they have to do the physical thing. They got to do like different other tests to make sure, like, hey, this is the top candidate. This is what the team should invest in. This is what our country should invest in. Is this person, right? So then so if somebody fails that, or like there's red flags, withhold the information, but like follow the steps that will allow the people to know that, hey, this guy maybe not shouldn't be the number one draft pick.
Well, yeah, and they could administer the test before the primaries, even. Like when you want to throw your name in the ring, that would be one of the first steps you take, and then you get your results back saying, actually, you're kind of stupid or whatever.
Yeah,
you probably shouldn't. So it could be very anonymous that way too. It wouldn't have to be like fucking election night. By the way, this guy's an asshole and he can't figure out where the fuck Egypt is. Don't vote for him.
See, I feel like that could be a thing that like you could use on a party level, right? Like when you're looking at all the, Democratic or Republican or whatever like candidates, you could look at, that like the DNC or the RNC could kind of make those moves and decide who they're going to put their stuff behind, because it was clear, or it becomes clear at a certain point what each kind of organization is, whose their weight is going to be behind. I mean, we saw it. We got Joe Biden because all of a sudden these people that won elections or won primaries just dropped out and put their money behind, behind fucking Joe, and we have him now. So I think that like that could be maybe on a party level. The issue I see is like even with a lot of these, unless they're the super smart, like super crazy sharp old people, like you're talking the fucking geniuses that, let's be honest, aren't in politics anyway. Um, the world's just like a different place, right? And I mean think about your grandparents that probably can't hardly program a VCR, or like I mean they couldn't hardly turn on a fucking laptop, and now you're trying to ask these people like, hey, like how are we going to regulate the internet? How are we going to regulate TikTok, or whatever, like, or these different social media apps? Like, what should we do about what should we do about AI and the information that it generates and the use of its art and the use of its, information and things like that? Like, what should we do about that? I mean, they're just going to look with a blank. They don't, this shit, like, when they grew up, like, sci-fi didn't even have some of the shit we have now. You know what I mean? Like this is shit they would have never ever dreamed of, and now they got to find a way to like regulate it when it's sitting here for real. And what
and
they're
you
going to
don't.
do anyway is they're going to lean on the young guys and girls and like people in STEM and whatever to like tell them, or even if it's a geopolitical issue, they're going to lean on these younger individuals to kind of walk them through the steps of what's going on. So why
Or they
not just
just deny.
Well, right, or they just don't do anything, or they like, ask the fucking CEO of TikTok if it connects to your fucking home internet. Like that is even a fucking goddamn question. But So that's the thing. Like just cut out the middleman, and if there's a younger person that wants to be a part of this political system, just let them do it. I mean, if they're, of course, the qualified individual, if they're smart, if they understand what's going on, all these different things, because they grew up with it. And now, like, I mean, our generation, like, especially Rick and I's, like, we're old and, going to turn to dust in a few years. So, like, we should be the ones dealing with this. Like, I mean, our generation is the first one that would have seen the before and after the internet and have a good view of what happens when people turn on the internet. Like we saw the switch go on, and now we see all the white supremacy and all the like anti-Semitism flying around, and all the like room temp IQ takes that we frequently talk about here. So I mean, it even if grandma or grandpa's real sharp and real smart, I don't know if they're the ones to discuss how the world is now, especially because their experience is different, right? I mean, like us three are going to experience what the economy is like now and what it's like to exist right now, as a person who's trying to kind of build a life or build an existence. Whereas, I mean, you get people like my dad, who'd be like, I guess, Gen X, right? Like, uh, he just, I think he just assumes that the world didn't change around him. So all of his views are right there, and his opinions and things we think he thinks we should do, while still wrong probably anyway because he's a right winger. um they wouldn't work with the way the world is, you know so it's there's just different conflicts, there's different issues that I think an age thing, it does make a huge difference in my opinion. But
Yeah, I would add to that, basically paraphrase what you said, in that it's almost impossible to represent people that you can't relate with. Right? We're our choices for our representatives are these fucking ancient people that just had a different lived experience than what we're dealing with now. They were able to like buy a house with a single income, and this, all that other shit. Like, it's just completely different. And so yeah, I would agree with that too. That's got to play a part in it as well.
I mean, imagine some fucking like zoomer walks up to this 80-year-old person and is like, hey, no cap, that law's bussin' for real on God. And they say that to some fucking 80-year-old person, they're just gonna melt. I mean, fuck, I barely understand what half this shit is. They're talking about fucking being in Ohio all the fucking time. I don't know what it means. I'm only 33.
Damn
It
kids
just
and your
fucking,
music.
dude, I listen to some of these kids talk sometimes. It just gives me a fucking headache. It just hurts. It hurts to even try and imitate it. I don't know how they do this all the time. How do they do? I watched Fortnite for like 4 minutes, and I think I just like went further down the spectrum. Like I just fuck, man. These poor children. Fucking skibbity in Ohio, fucking toilet something. I don't know what the fuck. It just hurts.
Do you guys, so speaking of age and whatnot, and I see a lot of my generation or people in similar age to me, kind of have this loyalty to like Russia, and like in things like practices that Russia goes through and whatnot, and socialism and everything that they kind of they want to bring that to the United States, and they want to totally disrupt the entire what the United States is all about and things like that, and they kind of want to follow that trend. And when they see like Russia and Ukraine, and I won't even say like people my age that are more right leaning, I'd say, will think like Putin's the man, right? Like he's the guy. He needs to lay down the law. He's a real leader compared to Joe Biden and things like that. And they'll just like totally. I don't know. I'm not trying to say like Russia's bad. But I'm just saying like Russia's not necessarily the best role model as far as like a successful um, country, I guess, in a way for their people from a people standpoint. So I was just thinking, gauge your guys as well. Like we see Putin, and he's doing this interview with fucking, oh, what do you mean? That fucking guy who was talking about goddamn fucking his face looks like he just shit himself 8 fucking times. But you see that interview with him, and Putin's like, what? this is fucking easy. This is a cakewalk. And they've got like millions of people just like this guy who has the same haircut as me, unfortunately. And it's the same fucking deal. So I was just trying to get you guys' reaction.
Just don't wear a bow tie.
Dude, Tucker Carlson is stereotypical white guy. Unfortunately, I'm happy that I don't live up to that, but yeah, it's because I don't have hair. I can't get the same haircut.
Dude, he's got bad hair. I mean, not the hair shame him, but he's got bad hair. So
Oh, yeah, he's got a bad face.
He does have a bad face, yeah.
Yeah. My thing, so like the thing that's funny is like Russia represents, or like what Russia is represents everything they're afraid of when like they talk about communism and socialism coming here. Which really what they are talking about, or what America tries to do, is like giving people basic rights and like giving people a very basic social safety net. Apparently that's socialism, but Russia is not. And they have like actual like fucking bread lines and actually just like distribute shit to families to some degree. Um, I mean, so in that Tucker Carlson interview, there's a bit where Tucker goes to a grocery store and he buys whatever the stereotypical a week's worth of food, for a family. And he goes, "Look at that! It's like $100 and some American. Like, wow! And in America, this would be like a million fucking whatever." And he goes on this whole thing, like, maybe they're not doing so bad. But what he neglects to bring up is that like the average American or income in American dollars in Russia is like less than $16,000 a year. So when you take that hundred some odd dollars a week, spread it out over a year, you're spending a third of your income on groceries now. Right. And I don't know
Right.
what it is here. Like, I don't know what the difference is here. Like,
It's
median
like
income, blah, blah, blah.
11%
Like on
now.
groceries for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in a rough spot. I'm not going to deny that America's in a rough spot. We're kind of a little bit of a
Right.
dumpster right now. But we're
11%
not.
is noticeably like high for us. Like people are, myself
Right.
included, like it's noticeably more money than we used to spend. So I couldn't imagine
Absolutely.
a fucking third.
Yeah, a third of your money over the course of a year. And it's not like he was buying fucking like Oreos and birthday cakes and soda and all this bullshit. Like he's buying like just normal ass food. Like he's not buying any fun shit, and he's not buying all the expensive, whatever the expensive stuff would be over there. I mean, he's just buying whatever, bananas and potatoes, and I don't fucking know what they eat over there, honestly, but vodka probably.
Essential.
Essentials. Yeah, just the essentials. Potatoes, vodka, mashed potatoes, boiled potatoes.
Boiled water.
Yeah, various forms of potatoes and things to season the potatoes with. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting, like how the right it's this loop back, right? Like there's this, I don't remember what the theory is, but there's this theory that kind of if you go far enough, left or right across one spectrum, you kind of hit a point where you deflect back around on a certain issue. And I feel like the right has gone so far on this authoritarianism thing, they've bounced all the way back to being like a full blown, like bad socialist, communist, like a Russia type of thing. But it's just because they want so bad to like walk outside and have a bunch of cops lining the streets and just be like, "Please, sir, let me lick your boot." Like, fucking, please let me lick
Right.
your boot. That's all they want. That's all the right wants.
Let me watch you kill all the people I don't like.
Yeah. And until you come for me, and then all of a sudden I'm innocent and this is so bad. But as long as it's the people I don't like, we should put all of them in jail, like, and kill
Well,
all the men.
it's not unlike their relationship now with Elon Musk, right? They'll never buy one of his cars, but they love the guy.
Yeah.
He's fucking free speech absolutist unless you make fun of me and then you're banned. Yeah, he's our fucking guy, but fuck his cars are stupid and they're extreme right or left fucking woke, can't drive in the cold bullshit.
Yeah.
So
Electric
it's the
cars
same
are
thing.
gay and woke, but Elon Musk is like the best fucking thing that ever happened to business.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is they're not scared to what is it? Would that be a hypocrite? Or just they can't see the irony and they're just not consistent. They're not fucking consistent at all.
We call it
And
cognitive dissonance.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the word I was looking. The two words I
Yeah,
was looking for.
cognitive dissonance.
That's what you get when you're that uncomfortable feeling when you realize that you're doing that. But I don't know that ever happens to these people.
I think so. I hate to like dog on like family members and things like that, but I've seen this.
You don't have to name people.
So
no, name them.
mom,
What's their social security number?
I'm just kidding.
My mother, whose full legal name is
lives here. But no, I'm just kidding. But I know people that that you have conversations with, and it's like it's like a scene from Star Wars. Let's just use Star Wars Episode 7 for an example. You have Han and Ben on the bridge, and there's still light in there's still light on Ben Solo's face, right? And you're like, and that's the person you're talking to. You're like, okay, so this is why this is a thing, or like this issue. Here's why I feel this way, and you kind of see it in their face where you're like, they agree with me, and then the light goes dark, and Ben Solo, and then it goes dark because they know they're wrong, but now they got to win the argument. Now mission changed. They're winning the argument, and then the lightsaber goes right through my fucking gut because. Because they have to either go after the way I look, the way I fucking present myself, any other issues that have ever happened before in life. I think that's the perfect analogy to describe talking to somebody with cognitive dissonance, because it's like, or even somebody who's just stubborn, who's just, I'm winning this argument for the sake of winning the argument, and I don't want to hear anything else.
You know what I mean? And you're ugly.
Yeah. And also you're gay and woke.
Yeah,
just liberal, like everything else. Yeah, right. Dude, I can relate. I have had discussions with family members, honestly, political discussions or otherwise, where, yeah, you kind of see that. You see, or that, their voice gets a little bit softer, and you can watch like the hamster start running in the wheel and start like thinking a little bit. And then you watch them turn, and then they go like, hey, no, like, and I don't know if it's all the time I'm going to win in the argument thing. I think it turns into this uncomfortable, like, well, my identity is tied to this opinion, right? So like, they're just not they're not going to change because they're just like, my identity is tied to this idea that like whatever, like a political ideology, or their favorite fucking basketball team, or like whatever the case is, or like you try convincing like a bud drinker to drink something else, and like, holy goddamn shit, everything else is piss water, so it's like, it's I mean, it's a deep identity thing. There's a ton of psychology on it too. I mean, people just they'd rather double down on their ideas regardless of merit, than consider the fact that someone might be. And I've seen it a ton of times. I debate, lifting stuff, and I'll debate with non-lifters about things, and people that don't know as much because they aren't a fucking dork like I am about it. And they still just like, well, no, you're just not considering my point of view. Like, yes, because it's wrong.
Yeah.
It's like measurably stupid and doesn't make sense. And in all my years of being an athlete, or whatever. Yeah. It's an interesting thing.
A classic go-to catchphrase that I hear a lot when I'm having these discussions with people, when the water gets too deep for them, or like when something is just like an objective fact that they agree with, and they can't even be like, well, they'll just be like, well, everything's stupid anyway, I don't even want to play anymore. Like, that's the way they that's the way they have the conversation. They're like, I'm like, oh god, dude, I'm like, you're edging me. Like, I almost finished, and now you're fucking putting on clothes. Come on,
flip the Monopoly board.
Yeah, I don't even like chess.
I don't even know how to play checkers. Checkers is woke.
It's such a fucking wet blanket fucking statement. And I'm tired of people using it when they're like, I'm gonna stir them, and they're like, hey, you know what? It all sucks anyway. They're all corrupt. Dude, don't fucking toy with the top if you're not gonna let me fucking have fun.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, blue balls hurt, whether it's in a conversation or if it's the real deal.
Eric, I never want to watch you debate anyone.
I kind of do. I'm signing us up for an OnlyFans. We're just going to sit and debate Eric.
He holds you down.
Just fucking hate edging.
God.
Are you saying you guys don't do that?
Not typically, no.
I was having some solidarity with Eric here with my rage edging myself.
Hang on, Eric just did another segue.
Yeah, fucking segued off to the side there. I think he fucking shit his pants this time.
Well, let's use this segue and actually do a segue. Did you guys see? Oh God, I don't know if I even. Did you guys see like the? You guys ever notice in Hollywood when you guys are watching? When you guys are watching maybe TMZ or something, and you have these people that dress up in these fucking weird fucking costumes and things like that. Like for example, Lady Gaga in the meat dress when she went up to the Grammys or whatever. You remember that?
Hell
Vaguely,
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
It
That
was a
that thing
different
was
life.
killer, dude. It
Yeah.
was. It was pre-Harambe times, so
No, that was pre-Harambe times. When that was the main headline. She wore a meat
that's
dress.
That's all we
which
had to
like
worry about.
Not
I need
fucking
fucking I need a meat dress
Donald
right
Trump
after.
fucking trying to plunge his goddamn. I took a shit. There was a lot of confidential information in that shit. That's why the plunger. I was trying to put it down there. Okay.
Dude, you're getting better at that.
It's the weight gain, and the denial that goes along with it.
He's just becoming. He's becoming one.
You're
Dude,
stupid.
you show up with a fucking blonde comb over. I'm gonna lose it.
Blonde comb over and a fucking too long of a red tie. Yeah, stand like a goddamn fucking centaur.
Fucking your hands are smaller. So that's why they're turning blue. They're fucking shrinking up, dude. They're gonna
They're
shrivel.
shrinking. You talk about blue balls. Everybody loves the blue balls, but not the blue hands. Okay. All right. So, but no. So recently,
Damn it.
recently we had Zendaya from the famed Spider-Man and Dune movies dress up in this weird kind of C-3PO esque looking thing. I'm assuming it's a costume from the thing, but I just don't understand. Like, I get there's artistic liberties and whatnot, when people are actors and things like that. Like Prince was a big known for that. Just being different for the sake of being different. But I don't know. Sometimes I just want to watch the movie. You know what I mean? All right, you run with that. That's
I tell you what. I tell you what.
Tell
You
me
know, she was doing the thing for Dune 2. You know, the release of Dune 2, and she got me interested into what I want to be doing to that ass. Because
God.
I don't know, man. That was a hell of a costume. Also, like, I don't know, man, underrated. I don't think she gets enough credit.
Eh,
I
I
touch her
felt
pass
like
the costume.
that was like a chastity belt on steroids, though. Like, how the fuck
I'll
you plan
find.
on getting into that, Zach? You
I don't
need a
know.
rivet gun and fucking a welder,
Yeah, I don't
goddamn
know.
torch.
Fucking
earned,
goddamn
not given.
maniac saw. Yeah, man, I like having to work for it. I
She
was
had like
never a closer anyway. Honestly, like someone could walk up to me wearing that shit, and then I still like it wouldn't matter anyway. You could walk to me wearing that shit, or you could walk to me wearing nothing, and we're not going home together because I don't know what's going on. Like I flat out do not understand how
Zach,
how to do
Zach's
any
over
of
here.
that.
You're just like, oh no, you must be mistaken. You don't want to.
Yeah, there's no way you want to do this with me. Are you fucking out of your mind? There must
I'll
be
help you
something
get
wrong
home.
with you.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll drive you home and drop you off. Oh, you want to come out? You know, you come in, have a drink, whatever. Like, no, no, no. I just got to go home. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go home and jerk off and be sad. That sounds better to me. I'm
immediate
not a
dopamine and
closer.
then crash.
Yeah, I was never a closer, dude. I'm still not a closer. I'm fucking married. I'm still not. I can't figure this shit out. How do you do that?
So I saw her outfit and whatnot, and I saw the backside maybe later too. But I always
Mm.
imagine myself when I see people when I see people wearing things like that. I always kind of envision myself like, would I ever wear that? Regardless if it's like a lady or a guy, it doesn't matter. Like I'm just thinking, would I ever like have that version? And I'm thinking, dude, there's no way that my ass in that fucking thing wouldn't fog up those goddamn clear whatever the hell.
Dude, I was just
Is that the only reason you don't like it?
Yeah, because it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me like I couldn't wear it. I
Jesus.
couldn't wear it.
here's think about this, man. Think about this. So I don't know if it's a style anymore, but like women were into wearing those rompers, right? It's like a big one piece fucking thing. They
Yeah,
look nice. But when you have to go piss now out in public, you basically just get butt naked in the bathroom.
yeah.
Just by what so I'm thinking she's got to do the same thing. But like, so do you think it's sealed
Oh, there's a
off enough?
tank in there.
No, well, here we go. Do you think if it's sealed off enough, do you think those clear like little bubble butt things were designed so as she like just pisses, those fill up with piss? And then it looks like a little
Yes,
fish bowl? And you think that you get a little plastic fish like floating around in there and stuff?
That would be fun.
that would be a wasted
Yeah.
opportunity if they didn't do it.
Yeah. If you're making that costume, I don't know. I wish I was a fucking costume maker for some of these crazy people because
Everyone would just like you.
just fucking put on a goddamn sweatshirt in the summer because you're embarrassed about everything. Just come on.
You don't get to show off your body because I don't want to do that to me.
Yeah.
I know people don't want to look at mine.
Yeah.
Dude, I think you gotta adjust your lens a little bit. Would I wear that? How do you feel about bikinis?
Dude, how do I feel about bikinis? I think people are uncomfortable in them. I think the juice isn't worth the squeeze. If I were a lady, I wouldn't want to wear them.
I think you would be uncomfortable in one.
Yeah. But also, think about this, dude. You ever fucking... Okay. We've talked about this before. But I hate... Oh, God. I don't even know if I want to say this. I hate going to the bathroom. I hate taking a shit, and then it's like my whole day is ruined. You know what I mean?
No.
Well,
even no matter how much you wipe, you always feel like you didn't wipe enough.
Yeah,
you always feel like you're one wipe away from clean.
Yeah. So if I'm a lady and I take a fucking grizzly gargantuan, whatever the fuck, a pipe shifter, if you will, and then I got to put on my little dainty little fucking whatever. No, that's kissing brown, dude. I'm not even. No, there's no way it's fucking. No, you know what I'm saying?
No.
Come on,
dude, they don't eat like we do.
They do.
I guarantee you there's some motherfuckers out there living off gas station burritos just like the rest of us. Fucking blue collar American men.
Well, then they're not worried about what their bikini looks like.
No, they are, dude. No. First of all, I've worked with people like this. And they're they're eating worse than I am. Their lunch consists of gushers and things like that. Like just fucking bubble gut city and you're the mayor. That's what their fucking meals consist of.
But Eric, not everyone has the same fucking, like the same gut biome as you either. They can handle that. Like they can handle different shit than you can. You can handle different shit than they can.
I feel like some people just have a different level for like what they're willing to deal with. You know what I mean?
They must have figured it out because they're not shitting their fucking bikinis when they're out, you know? Like,
well, no, but like,
what?
I don't know. Maybe there's some discomfort that goes along with it. I just, even if I was Lady Zach, like, I'm not wearing one right now. I'm trying to work on like getting like some A cups here going on. I want a big chesticles, you know, I want to be cool, but like, I don't think I could pull off a bikini right now. I don't think it would work. My bulge is going to be like just too big to notice. It's going to be bad. And my ass is hairy. But like, if I was a lady, I still don't know if I could do it. I still think I'd want to be comfortable. Like, even if I was like a super hot like lady, which I probably would be, and I can just say that because we'll never know.
Well, do you remember that the conversation we just had about not being able to relate? I think this is kind of that same category.
Can I hold on? So to Zach's point though, the only thing that I could think of me wearing something like that, like a bikini, I'd wear maybe a bikini if I were a lady, because then I'd be in water. So if anything were to happen, I'd constantly kind of like in that mode of it's, you know what I mean? Like it's you're washing it basically.
You're gonna shit in the public pool? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but like
I tell you what, that shit fucking. My brother pooped in a pool once. It looks fucked up. People notice.
I know.
I'm sure he appreciates you telling everyone that.
For any like streak,
they closed it down for like 3 days.
Oh my god!
3 days, Eric. Nobody could swim. He fucking ruined someone's week.
So I would say, I think so.
They had to clean shit off the bottom of the pool. It sunk. It sunk, Eric.
What the fuck did he eat?
I don't know. It was huge. He was like 7 years old. It was the biggest dump I had seen to date.
Okay. So with that being said, you wouldn't take a full on shite in the fucking pool. You'd like the streaks, right? So you get that. But even like a lingerie standpoint too. Like I wouldn't want to wear it for more than a half an hour. You know what I mean?
Ideally,
After
you're
that,
not, though.
all bets are off.
Yeah,
Dude.
ideally, you don't have to wear some of that stuff for very long, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like you guys got to work on your wiping.
On my what? My wipe?
Your
I wipe
wiping.
pretty good.
It doesn't sound like it if you're this fucking concerned about messing your fucking underwear up.
No, my fear, I tell you what, no, dude, like, here's the thing. Like, so I always, before I go to the gym, I always, like, will take a dump before I go to the gym. Just because, like, I don't want to take a dump at the gym. Like, who wants to do that, right? So I always, like, make sure I'm good to go. And if I take a full-fledged poopy, then, like, one of my fears, I don't care. Like, I wipe real good, right? Like, I'm gonna say, for the record, I do a good job. Like, I wait till that shit comes out fucking clean and I get in there. Like, I'm not afraid. But I'm still terrified that somehow I'm gonna fucking squat down and somehow someone's gonna like smell shit coming from me or something, right? Like someone's just gonna somehow know, like, oh, dude, that guy like just pooped. Like, and now he's sitting in the bottom of a fucking squat, and I just know it. Right?
Why is someone's face there?
I squatted some short ass shorts because you gotta let the thighs out, man. The Cobra Commander legs gotta breathe, and like
Right.
I'm just sometimes afraid that like that they're just gonna let the poopy out, even if there's no poopy. I'm just afraid of the poopy coming out.
I had that exact fucking. So first of all, I'm the exact same way. Secondly, today that happened to me. So I've been in this meeting with people. We're doing an audit of some sorts, and I got to be directly involved. So I'm like sitting next to people and whatnot. I went to the bathroom, first of all, and I'm thinking, okay, I've been in here too long. Everyone's going to know. So you kind of just commit to the idea that everyone knows. But now that everyone knows, I feel like they do a sniff check when I walk in. You know what I mean?
Dude, nobody fucking cares. So nobody cares.
So they already know. So this guy's taking a shit.
Oh my God.
And I get back into the room. I look fine. I look lighter. I sit down and they're like, all right, the air just passed me. You know what I mean? You kind of want to be like, did he do it? Or is there still fucking stuff? Did he miss? You know what I mean?
You think people don't think about you that fucking much.
It's not about, dude, everyone. I do. I think about people. When I see somebody leave,
really?
When I see him come back later, I'm like, that was a shit. You know what I mean?
You see all your fucking coworkers walk in, you go,
I don't
do that?
Yeah, but because I try not to. I don't want to think differently of them.
What the fuck?
I will
Am I broken? Am I the one that's wrong here?
Okay, you're the guy who has like 19 deodorants fucking stashed away in every goddamn fucking closet, locker, bag, and freezer that you fucking own. Yeah, you might be the one that's but you're not worried about fucking your ass?
No.
Your asshole?
I have that in case I have backups in case I run out, and like I exaggerate. I have like 2. I have one in my locker at work now, and that's the only one I can fucking think of. But
I have one, and it's almost gone, probably.
See, if you're this concerned about how you fucking smell, why wouldn't you pay more attention to that?
All my finances go into my asshole and my fucking balls.
Yeah, dude, Eric's the one. He's got fucking ball spritzer and shit. We talked about this. He's fucking spritzing his nutsack, and he's got fucking. I had a buddy. No, dude, I had a buddy who was worse than all of us. He would straight up take a shower in the morning before work. He'd take a shower at like fucking lunchtime. Like, he'd fucking wipe his ass with those like fucking wet wipes, some bitches and shit.
Oh,
he was like, he's overly clean.
Did he look like his skin had a bunch of fucking coconut flakes on it?
No, somehow it turned out okay. Yeah, somehow it's fine. But like that motherfucker showers more often in a day than I do in a week. I swear to God.
One time I wiped with a Lysol wipe, and that fucking I saw colors out of that, dude. I'm I mean, I saw colors. I you can see colors every day, unless you're colorblind. But I smelt colors. You know what I mean? Like just something fucking woke up inside me.
Some
What the
taint,
fuck is
right?
happening right now?
I remember that, and then Rick, to your point, I remember doing that because it was the only thing I had available. Like there was no toilet paper. I come out of the bathroom and somebody goes, "Oh, you smell good." You know what I mean? I've
One
thought
smell's the
about
way.
that. I've thought about that every single day since that point, and I was probably 12 years old.
Yeah, but Eric, you take someone's like one-off fucking no thought goes into it comment, and you take that as like a life lesson. You live your fucking life like that's a fucking code that you have to
Hey,
live by
I tell
forever.
you what.
And it was
I
just
tell you
like,
what.
hey,
Someone
and
told
then
me
like,
like a month ago that my pecs looked good, and I'm still living off that high.
right,
Yeah,
but that's not your fucking ass wipe. That's
right.
It could
different.
Well,
be
I don't have pecs, so it doesn't really happen to me.
if he would have said,
Don't
"Hey,
take
nice
this away
ass."
from me.
If some dude looks and just says like, "Hey, nice asshole, bro," like I'm living off that forever. That's gonna be
Right?
my identity. Is
I
the guy
get
with the nice
I
asshole.
Because
I
that's one
get
less thing you got to worry about.
I get
Yeah.
having like a compliment that makes you feel good, but like, dude, Eric,
No,
you
it's
do
my
this with the
identity.
bad stuff too. You're worse with the bad stuff. When someone tells you something negative about yourself, you take that as like a fucking ultimate life failure that you just
Yep.
cannot fucking overcome. Like,
Ah,
well, I
Isn't
guess I
it?
have to live my life like this now. I'm just broken forever. Can never get better or change or be different.
yep.
Fucking Aunt Bitch Nuts said this to me one time when I was 9. That's just the reality of my life now.
Yeah, Rick, but that's what trauma is.
Right. But stop it. Because it's not real. It's all in here.
Hey,
have
I
you
think
have you considered a
I'm not saying
psychiatry
trauma isn't real.
career?
That's not what I meant. What I'm saying is that comment only lives on in your fucking head. They're not even thinking about it anymore.
you know to that point. So yeah, you're right, probably about that. But another weird thing that I do, and we'll wrap up shortly, so bear with me. Another thing that I do is when somebody gives me a compliment. So that asshole smell, Rick. I think this is like
Woo!
this is all kind of making sense now that I'm saying it out loud. But like when somebody gives me a compliment, like let's say how I look, how I smell, like if it's a positive compliment, well, it's a compliment. I was thinking comment. Anyway,
A
if they give
negative
me a
compliment.
compliment, if they give me a compliment about something, I try to every time I see that person or every time I like, am in public again or something like that, I will want to like, okay, so that's the standard now. Somebody said I look good or like this is how I smell. Now I got to meet that standard and exceed it if I see them or because at the one time then if they don't see me looking good, they're like, ooh, Eric, gained weight or he looks a little puffy today or ooh, Eric smelled like fucking raw onions. It's like that's the lasting memory until I can meet that standard again. Then if I meet it again, then it's like, yeah, he's normal. You know what I mean?
It is my opinion that you give people way too much power over you. Because
Well,
I don't give that much of a shit. Like, hey, you look good. Oh, thanks. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's nice, but it's like I'm not gonna be like, if I don't look good from here on out, I'm gonna be disappointed. Like, what's the thing? You're gonna be disappointing them?
well, it's kind of like somebody has created this expectation, and now if you don't fulfill it, they're kind of like it might be like a in their day, but to you, it's like, well, I want to be, that
Right. But
for
people have
everybody.
bad days,
Yeah,
right? You're allowed to have bad days.
yeah,
And so it's not realistic to think that you'll never have a bad day in front of that person again, especially when every single person has a different bar set and you're trying to meet all of those every single fucking day. It's an impossible standard you're setting for yourself.
and hence the
It's a,
self-loathing.
stop it.
No, I can like I get it though. Like I get it. Like you want to be on top of your game when you see like these people, even if they're just coworkers or people that like at a certain point you never run into again. Like, and I know you're not like obviously like I'm not at the top of my game every fucking day, like or whatever, but like you just want to be. I don't know, man.
Right.
And if being at the top, means you get a compliment, someone says like, "Hey man, like nice cock, bro." Like you want to make sure that you have that same level of nice cock next time you see them so that you get a
Yeah,
compliment again. Or so like you live up to that. You know what I mean? Cuz like you gain this identity with other people, and it's hard not like I've seen it kind of take over how I live a little bit, right? Like so, let me move my camera. Look at that framing. Um, I like I mean like I'm supposed to be, I meet people and I blah blah blah, and I'm supposed to be this guy that like I don't know, maybe I like made some jokes and now I'm the funny guy, or maybe I was like maybe I helped him like move a fucking couch and now I'm like the big strong guy, or like maybe I whatever, like, and you kind of there's you could get or you can start to feel a certain pressure to kind of live up to that, right? So like one thing that honestly like I've been dealing with like lately is kind of the realization and the pressure of everyone has an idea of who you should be, and then you have an idea of who you should be, right? And this is going to be more uplifting than I thought it was going to be. I don't know. I wanted to make a funny joke. I'll try and make a funny joke in here somewhere. But like, so I'm coming to the realization. So like, I want to be a guy that does X, Y, and Z thing, right? Like, I'm good in my band. I'm good in the gym. I'm good at school, right? Like, we'll pick those three things. But at the same time, like, the guys in my band, they don't give a shit about my other stuff. They just want me to be a really good bass player, right? And in the gym, maybe there's like someone who's like, no, like Zach goes to the gym, he's really fucking strong. You got to see this guy, and they have high expectations for that. Or like, the people I interact with there, they just expect this really high, like you got to be really fucking strong or whatever, have a huge pump and have a nice dick. And then there's at school they don't give a shit about the other stuff. They're like, no, like you got good grades last time, just go get good grades again, you fucking idiot. Like just keep doing it, that's all you do. And so you can kind of succumb to the pressure or start to feel the pressure of, you know, who I want to be is a combination of these different things at different levels. Like this much of a good bass player and this much of a good lifter and this much of a good, whatever, like student. And then other people go like, well, no, I just need you to like, come home and mow the lawn and take care of the cats. Like, I don't give a shit about that other stuff. Or your family's like, why are you worried about all that other stuff? Like, I mean, I've gotten the comments before about like, oh, like you don't have to get so big and lift all those heavy weights. Like, you're fine just how you are. But that's, and that's their expectations. So you start to feel like, oh, am I, even though you internally might want to look like fucking Arnold or some shit and lift like Ronnie Coleman. Like, so, I mean, I get it. I don't know. I think it's something I think we all feel at different points, to different degrees, based on like where that pressure is coming from.
Right. But I would add to that people learning that your life is more complex than they realized isn't a bad thing. Right. Again, like, hey, you're really strong, but like you got sick today and you can't lift that weight. That's not like a judgment against you. It was a circumstance that you then overcame. you know? And so
Yeah,
like that was my point. I'm not trying to say, oh, you shouldn't fucking give a shit or whatever, but it's like it's a delicate balance before you fall into the fucking pit one way or the other, where you just don't give a fuck and you wear sweatpants and a beater all fucking day every day. You just don't give a fuck about anyone's opinion of you to your own detriment, right? You don't even care about you. And so, and then there's the other side of that where you're a people pleaser. And I think you have to find that balance.
you have to toe the line to a degree. You have to
Yeah.
kind of find the toe the line. But I think at the end of the day, like it's got to come down to like you have to be you. Because if you try to be the you that everyone else thinks you are, you're fucked. You're never gonna be.
You have to
And I mean
decide what's
this
important to you.
right. I mean this
And then
goes
and
beyond
then
smell. I guess smelling good may be
yeah.
really fucking important to some people, which is fine. Like I like smelling good, like whatever, but yeah, no, but like I just all that to say I do get it to a degree, you know. Plus like I don't know, I got bullied like a motherfucker as a kid. So anytime I give anyone a fucking opportunity, or I think there's a, like, and, dude, I'm an adult. I don't get fucking bullied anymore. Like Jesus Christ, I'm in my 30s. But like, there's still that residue there of like, I can't dress wrong. I can't smell bad. I can't, oh, like, because someone's gonna fucking come out of the woodwork and just be like, hey, you stink, or whatever shit. And I'm a guy like I don't give a shit. Like Rick, you call me a cat all the time because I just don't do stuff that I don't want to fucking do, right? Like, You've referred to me as a fucking house cat on many occasions, and like I don't give a shit. I look like a fucking weirdo. I listen to fucking weird music and like do all this shit that is not really socially acceptable for most 33-year-old men. But like it still is in the back of my head. Like that shit leaves a fucking mark.
Right. But
I
in a
agree.
good way.
Yes and no.
I like
'Cause,
hanging
like,
out with you for it. I guess that could be taken as a bad thing.
I was saying, like, I don't know, like, yeah, some people like me for it. It made me who I am, but at the same time, like, I don't know, was the juice worth the squeeze? Would I have been a different person had I not been bullied so fucking hard for a majority of my life?
Well,
You
yeah.
know, like,
If
so
things were
there's
any other
that.
way, they'd be different, but can't really do anything about that anyway.
No, I'm just gonna get rich and Jay and Silent Bob everyone that ever talked shit. Just at the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, they go and beat the shit out of everyone that talks shit about their movie script. It's very funny.
Perfect. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, highly recommend that too. Jay and Silent
Yeah,
Bob.
I agree. Well, that I think so. Let's end on that positive note, huh, boys?
Yeah, good thing we made that list of topics we wanted. We covered none of them, but that's okay.
But that's okay. We got brain void for the soul. All right. Well, any final words from you two?
No, I was trying to think of a Macho Man quote. I got nothing.
Check your deodorant reserves.
Yeah, make sure to go get your deodorant, and you don't have to smell like Sports Mountain men. You too can smell like lavender.
Giddy up. All right. Well, thanks for dropping in. We'll see you guys next time.
Oh yeah.
Bye.